Welcome back to this explainer. Today we're decoding the fascinating psychology behind our everyday social discomforts. You know the feeling, right? Your heart skips a beat, your palms get a little clammy, and suddenly you're hyper aware of your own existence in a crowded room. But what is literally going on in our brains when that happens? Today, we're going to break down the science to get a clear handle on two deeply common, yet honestly super misunderstood human experiences. Okay, let's just dive right into it by asking a question I'm sure we've all pondered during an awkward moment. Are shyness and social anxiety actually the same thing? Because people use these terms interchangeably all the time, don't they? Like, if you bail on weekend plans because you're feeling overwhelmed, a friend might say, "Oh, you're just being shy." Or maybe they'll say, "It's your social anxiety acting up." But here's the thing. In the realm of psychology, precision absolutely matters. So the bottom line is that while these two feelings are definitely cousins, they are entirely different concepts. We really need to uncouple these two ideas in our minds. Sure, they might share some of the same physical symptoms, like that awful nervous flutter in your stomach, but the psychological drivers behind them, the actual triggers setting you off, completely different. Section 1. Are they the same everyday scenarios? Think about these totally normal, everyday scenarios. When you feel a sudden wave of dread about making a phone call or eating your lunch in a crowded cafeteria, sitting across from someone on a first date, or, just sweating under the bright lights of a public gym, what is actually happening to you there? In all of these situations, it's so important to know exactly which psychological response you're dealing with. Are you withdrawing from connection, or are you just terrified of being judged? Section 2. What is shyness? Interpersonal discomfort. Let's start with shyness. Psychology defines shyness strictly as an interpersonal dynamic. This is a really vital distinction. It is all about person-to-person connection. It's characterized by a tendency to feel isolated, anxious, or just plain uncomfortable, specifically when you have to interact with others. It's that strong, almost magnetic pull to withdraw during direct human-to-human connections. And you can see that clearly when we look at the specific triggers for shyness. They literally all revolve around direct human interaction and personal vulnerability. We're talking everyday conversations, dating, meeting new people, picking up the phone, but it also includes the heavier stuff, right? Like asserting yourself, handling a conflict with a friend, or honestly just talking about yourself. Every single one of these things requires you to open up and connect with another human being. And that is exactly where the shy brain starts sounding the alarm. Now, what's really fascinating here is the massive overlap between shyness and introversion. Compared to highly sociable, extroverted people, shy individuals have this natural tendency to turn inward. They kind of pull back from broader society and retreat into their own internal world, mostly because the sheer friction of interpersonal connection is just exhausting or uncomfortable for them. Section 3. What is social anxiety? Fear of evaluation. Okay, so let's flip the script. Unlike shyness, social anxiety is explicitly rooted in the fear of being watched, evaluated, or judged by an audience. Notice the difference there? You don't necessarily have to be talking to a single soul to feel social anxiety. The discomfort comes purely from the perception that you are being observed. It is that heavy, suffocating weight of feeling like there are eyes on you, and worse, that those eyes are making some sort of assessment of your worth or your actions. And the triggers for social anxiety make perfect sense when you look at it through that lens. These aren't about intimate personal connections at all. They're about performance, exposure, and the fear of public evaluation. Public speaking, eating or writing while someone watches you, using public restrooms, making a mistake where people can see it, or working out at a public gym. Think about it. You aren't usually having deep, vulnerable conversations in a public restroom or while you're on the treadmill. The fear here is entirely about being the center of attention and the target of potential judgment. Section 4. Comparing the two. Difference and similarity. So to boil it all down, it looks like this. Shyness is about the discomfort of interpersonal connection, while social anxiety is about the intense pressure of observation and judgment. Shyness essentially asks, how do I handle this direct interaction with you? Whereas social anxiety is frantically asking, what is everyone thinking about me right now? Honestly, understanding this division is a total game changer for mapping out our own emotional responses. But wait, here is a really fascinating twist. Yes, shy people very often experience social anxiety when they are forced to communicate. The pressure of the interaction totally triggers the fear of judgment. But, and this is a huge but, you absolutely do not have to be shy to feel socially anxious. They are not mutually exclusive, and they are definitely not a package deal. This perfectly explains why a highly extroverted, super friendly person might still just freeze up in total panic when they're asked to give a toast or perform in front of a crowd. Normally, sociable, outgoing people can experience profound discomfort when they suddenly become the center of attention. They have zero problems with interpersonal connection. Heck, they probably thrive at parties. But the exact second the dynamic shifts from a two-way connection to a one-way observation, bam, the social anxiety kicks in. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a little mental homework to help you better understand your own brain. The next time you feel a sudden wave of social discomfort, whether your heart is pounding before a first date or you're just dreading walking across a crowded office, pause for a second and ask yourself, is this interpersonal shyness or is this the fear of being evaluated? Pinpointing exactly what your brain is reacting to is the very first step in actually mastering it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next explainer.